Well, welcome to the channel. Lucky you landed on the first video we're ever producing. We don't quite know what to name it, but I'll get there, I guess. Don't let what I'm doing fool you. I am not a chainsaw mechanic by any means. I know enough to make it look like I know what I'm doing, and enough to get myself into some trouble. Today, we've got a little bit of a treat. Again, like I said, don't know what we're going to do a lot on the channel. We're just going to do a lot of chainsaw, a little outdoor content, homesteading stuff as we start ours here in the Midwest. And, you know, we'll just let it go where it takes us. But right now I've got an MS461. We've got a few things to do to it today to get it kind of where I want it. I've got a few chainsaws. Again, like I said, I'm not a mechanic by any means. Don't let that fool you. I'm a marketing guy that lives in the middle of nowhere in Yankee Land, Illinois, and produced rodeos for a very long time. Live events, concerts, stuff like that. Still do that. But life convinced me to move back home as my family was growing without me. And so I did the thing that I should do. I've been around enough people to say that if they could do it all over again, they would spend more time with their family. And so I'm not going to let their advice go to waste. So here we are doing that. Part of that is we got a wood burning stove. And so in honor of that, not in honor of that, but out of necessity, it's definitely got to get some wood started this cutting season. It's getting warmer. And I was a steel mechanic way back in college, if you can call silver certified being a mechanic. But that's what I was. So I just am pretty loyal to the brand. I cut trees straight out of college for a long time. That's what you do. You actually go to college and get $50,000 in debt to go be an arborist. Probably not the best use of my money and or time. I should show you what I'm doing now. Right now I'm taking off the muffler. We've got some accessories from West Coast Saw. Whoop-pow! And whoop-pow! There they are. I don't know if you guys can see those, but beautiful. These are absurdly large, but impressively functional. We're here to do this right now. So, John with John's Custom Saws had a really good tip. I think it's really good. We'll see. But a lot of it is, this is right in the way. And not a lot of it. That's a ridiculous thing to say there. We'll open this guy up. Just beautiful. American made. Beautiful piece of just equipment. I love hearing like steel, you know, when you rub your, put it up next to the mic. That is the sound I love. So, as you can maybe see through my terrible one-angle camera here, is it won't fit. Now, let me put another light on this. These tabs stick out. Let's turn it a little bit. Right here. I'll crop in post to show you. It's right there. Right here. These guys, okay? They stick out past the plane that you need to have it at in order to get this thing on there. That's what we'll do. We'll just do this. So what we're going to do is bend it. Maybe if I work it. We're just going to do that. It may be best not to do this and to go the other way, as to, you know, provide an adequate nesting place for the bark box. But this actually will provide me with some much desired spring tension on the back. Not that I need it, but I always like to have a counter opposing force to what I'm fastening. Just gives me a little peace of mind. That's the old Stihl recommended method. Oh, just like a glove. You know, I have thousands of dollars in tools just laying around. You'd think I would just pull out one of my little 12 volts and just... It's the reason I have them, is to do stuff like this, to take all the dummy work out of it. Not dummy work, but you know what I mean. Make things run smoother, quicker, faster, stronger, just like Kanye. Mediocre mechanic at best. At worst, I'm a complete fraud when it comes to mechanical acuity. I know enough to get myself into a situation I can't get out of. I don't know if anyone said that before I have, but I will definitely. All right, next, we'll do the dogs. Now, if you can see that beauty, you'll notice that they are impressively large. I mean, here's a normal dog in comparison, right? So why? Why this? This lines up with your chain curve. When we put it on, you'll see. So we'll put this other one on first. Put this guy on. Dare I put Loctite in there? No, I shan't. I shan't put Loctite in there. All right, so there's first dog. If you can see it. No, you can't because it's out of focus. Oh, sorry, guys. It was out of focus that whole time. It's a pretty shoddy YouTube content creator. There it is. Back you go. You can see everything back there. Good thing I hid the dirty pictures. All right. This is what we're looking at for the first dog. Looks pretty cool, no? It sets it a little off the table. It sets it a little off the base. You'll see it whenever it's completed, what it does. I'm not a fan of that, but I am a fan of how this just ridiculous size saber tooth works. So we'll put the other ones on. Now, with this one, the thing that John did, which was quite impressive, was he didn't tighten these until he placed it over here, which we're going to do. You're going to see it from this camera out that way. You're going to see it from the far camera. So he set it up and he kind of rested it. Gosh, I do need to clean that thing a little more. Rested it right here. And he rested it right here so that he wouldn't have to fight it as he put on the cover every time. So after every time you're swapping a chain or whatever you got to do, you don't have to fight it to get it on. So if you have, regardless of whether these West Coast dogs or Safety Pro or anything else, if you've got dogs and they're not cooperating, then they're causing you to scuff your studs here, loosen these up, nest the dog, and then tighten it up. And it is, it actually is quite impressive. So, all right. Oh yeah, let's actually just test this out. Hold on. Let's just test this out. Oh, it's never fit so smooth. So, there, you can see that. They kind of carry it off of this thing a little bit. And yeah, I look like I'm chubby with all the stuff in my front pocket there. It's a good hide. I actually really am chubby. I'm one of them secretly fat guys. So, here she is, all West Coast accessorized up. Just look up some more reviews on this thing. And it does add about 6 to 10% of the horsepower. So, with everything I'm fixing to do on this saw, I'm probably going to add a fair amount of muscle to it. And it's already pretty torquey as it is. So, next thing we're going to do is this guy. A lot of what you see on the West Coast, this in fact, real quick, when I say West Coast, this is a West Coast build on a saw. It's got this, oversized sprocket cover. It's got this 3/4 wrap. We call it a full wrap, but it's actually technically a 3/4 wrap. You'll see Huskies and Dolmars and stuff that have the full wrap. It goes, you know, it goes all the way around and under. They look cool. That's really all that matters, isn't it? They do actually serve a purpose as far as chip deflection. This one doesn't have the deflector because it ripped, so I've got a new one coming. But realistically, if you have this 3/4 handle and you don't have this, you can kind of see where I'm alluding to with this. In your transition from, you know, you might accidentally do that. Do that. And if you've got a regular, you know, if you've got a normal sprocket cover that comes up and like this, I've seen some horror stories, or heard some horror stories of guys reaching under there and grabbing their chain. Don't want to do that. This version came with this, but you can buy these OEM on eBay or your local Stihl dealer. About $100 is what they're going to run you. 80 to $100. Magnesium. I draw this line on it for the sight line. I just paint it in. That's a tip from John's Custom Saws again. I just like watching the guy's content. He's got a lot of good ideas. It's like he knows what he's doing. So anyway, we're going to tackle this. And what we've got here is a max flow. So you're going to take this guy off. Throw it away. I'm just kidding. Don't throw it away. Keep it. Always keep your extra parts. I love you. You're a good little guy, but shiny. But not just not what we need right now. I need my saw to breathe, and you're restricting it. So you have to go. This guy, this little guy here, we're gonna dry fit everything first. Well, that served no purpose. And then we're going to, you know, put on the actual fitment. So these come with a lot of stuff. You don't need the instructions. Just watch this. You're good. Keep this. So it comes with 2 filters. You got 2 filters. This is, I think, 60, and this is 80. It's a finer, you know, filter. So it's going to allow less in. The whole purpose of this is to get it to breathe. If you want to put this one on it, you can, because what it goes around is actually really nice. As you can see, it's got a lot of holes in it. This fits like this. So you've got this end right here that's got a flange, right? So you can see it from the inside here. It's got a flange. This fits opposite flange. The flange is what eventually will seat right here with your big old fatty filter on it. Some guys cut this flange off. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep it there. This thing is squishy and almost indestructible for a reason. So, you know, we're going to leave it on. And then, you know, if it doesn't work right, then my saw will tell me pretty rapidly, and we'll figure it out. But I think it's going to be okay. So, I want to make sure it looks good first. That's really the only thing that matters for this. It's not breathability. What you'll see in here, in this, is a couple flanges. You can see them. There's one right there, one right there. You just depress those into the screwdriver. It's like maybe 2 pounds of pressure, and it goes in. So I'll try and do it over here so you can zoom in later. So just ever so slightly, I'm pulling on the back with my fingers and pushing this in. Again, with my vast experience putting on max flows. This is number 2. So, well, proving to be a problem child. There we go, got it. So put that over there, push it in. You know, so it's got those little fins. Like I said, I've always liked Stihl. I've always been a Stihl guy. I've got 5 chainsaws on the wall. I guess, you know, I'm just a regular dude. But can you guess what brand they are? I bet you could if you tried real hard. All right, so that's in. What we've got is this bell raise. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos where guys have, where do we want to put that? Boy, that bench vise is in a really good position, isn't it? I've watched a couple of YouTube videos where guys, hold up, time out, B-roll. Anyway, So I watched a couple videos where guys put these on without it, and I don't know if they're just showcasing it or what, but that's not how it's meant to run. It's meant to catch this stuff and to make it cleanable. So we use this bell raise. I don't have an official measuring cup, and again, I took this from John's Custom Saws. As you can tell, I'm a fanboy. Then I will dump 2 ounces in this Ziploc bag. Oh, would you imagine that I actually did that last time? Just guessed, just on a whim. We're gonna stick that filter in it, and then it's going to absorb what looks to be about 8 ounces worth of this stuff. Yeah, put in 2 ounces. And we're gonna coat it inside and out. And John, just go ahead and close your eyes, because this is not gonna be pretty. Not nearly as pretty as how he did it. So I'm just gonna get in there and just do this. He uses a Tupperware container too, so I guess that's an option. You know, you can do whatever you want, whatever makes it work for you. Just as long as you're getting it spread out fairly evenly throughout the filter. And I have not read anything on the max flows other than they, you know, basically come close to, you know, at least by 50% increasing your airflow through your machine. Okay, so you can flip these things inside out. Again, John's got a great video on it. I might actually link it just because he goes way more in depth than I do, and he's much better at it than me. Mine looks a little marbled. It's a little thick. I'll probably, yeah, I don't know if I'll keep working it or not. Why not? What's it gonna hurt? We can sit here and talk a little bit more. You can fast forward a few minutes, because that's probably what it's gonna be. Psych! Okay, it's pretty worked in there. So now this stuff is super sticky and it sticks on everything. So just as an FYI, have some paper towels around. So here's what it looks like. It looks actually really good. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna even try and wring any of that out. It absorbed it very nicely. In fact, so nicely that I'm a little concerned, but I think that's probably good. It's a little dark right there. Yeah, you can wring it out. You can't see it, but see my gloves are getting all oily right there and shiny. It's wringing out, so I'm gonna spread it a little further throughout the filter. As you can see what I'm kind of doing here, we're back to this part of the filter that I was talking about. So this goes on the back, the flange goes facing the saw. If I'm wrong on that, I will you definitely won't know, because you'll see a different part of the video. Oh, we got one more thing to do. Forgot. So here's how it sits. I think that flange is going to be just fine. I don't think we're going to need to do anything with it. So I'm going to take this glove off so I don't get oil everywhere. If I can grab it. We can look at that the rest of the time. I'm kidding. I won't do that to you guys. These hands do not look like they work on machinery at all. All right, so it's a little deep, so you got to push on it to get it in there. Oh, wait a second. There was a little trick that he showed. Again, John, just coming in clutch with all of the good stuff. Whatever, we're just going to sacrifice it. He, if you'll notice, we'll put this over here. If you'll notice, this thing right here, when it goes on, it'll be fitting about like that. So you can't reach the high-end portion of your carburation. And so what we're going to need to do is we'll trim out a little bit of that. So I won't do it today just because I don't have the appropriate tools to do it. That needs to be carved out. So next time you see this saw, it will be carved out. And this right here, it fits a little snug. So what he does is he trims this flange off right here. You can't see it. We'll do it on this one. So what he does is he trims this flange off right here, because that catches on your selector there. So we'll trim that off. And I'm most likely going to cut my finger off when I do it. So here's to that. Just use the old pocket knife. What could possibly go wrong? I could break the whole thing off. That could possibly happen. I wouldn't put it past me to do that. Oh, that's just going swimmingly. Yeah, you guys should see this. You can't, unfortunately, but it's actually working well. Hold your breath. Ah, perfect. So this little, looks like a little, 3/16, or it's a little smaller than that, 5/32 piece here, was just right inside there, and we trimmed it off, so now it should fit just like a glove. So now that that fits, we're going to put this on it, and hopefully find that little bitty sucker way down in there. There's so many jokes that could be made right there, but I won't. I won't do it. It's a good thing this thing frickin' fits as tight as it possibly could. Otherwise, it could be very difficult to put this on. Please say that's on. Oh man, nice. Okay, so here's what she looks like now. Because looks is the only thing that matters. It's not about performance, it's about looks. Looking good on the wall, never being used. I definitely like that old school square body look a lot more than I like the rounded space age look that we've been getting from most of the saw manufacturers. I mean, Husqvarna makes some, but I'd rather not hold a truck while I'm trying to cut a tree down. So one last little finishing touch here. Oh yeah, brand spanking new 32-inch Sugihara. Really what I like to do at this phase when these nuts are not completely tight is it's on, put pressure at the front of the bar, get your chain to where you like it. I think that's going to tighten up pretty nice, so it's a little slack on the bottom. We'll tighten it up and see what happens. Let's get it just finger tight there. Buck and Billy Ray did this one time when I was watching the video and I saw it and I was like, that's just pure genius. It's a little looser, so I'm going to tighten her just a hair, just to where that touches the bottom. Now, I think this is preference. There is such a thing as too tight of a chain, but I think it's based on preference on how you want it to go. I've seen, and by that I mean directionally. Do you want it to just let it rest like this, or do you want to put pressure on the front? And I think it's just on your cutting style. That's what that's determined by. So right now I've got it. We just completed the dogs, the bark box, the max flow. Oh, gotta hide that. Woo. And the 32-inch Sugihara bar, 38050. So she's ready to chew a little bit. To be honest, I'm going to use this saw right now a bit to break it in because, like I said at the beginning, it's only got 4 to 7 tanks of fuel through it, 5 to 7 tanks of fuel through it. We don't know, so I'm just going to, consider it broken in when I hear it seat. So anyway, as you can see, I am running, this is not square ground. This is round ground for right now. Going to use it, then I'm going to square grind it, then use it again. But this is RSF, so Rapid Super Full. It's a 32-inch skip, 38050. It's about $50 a chain. It's this guy right there. Matter of fact, I'll just show you. It's that. That's the part number for this particular chain if you're looking for it. I don't know if Stihl grinds teeth square from the factory or if you have to do that yourself, but Guilty of Treason has probably the best comprehensive guide to on YouTube and on the internet for square filing your chain. It's probably one of the best. So I've done a couple of them. I'm really happy with how they perform. And anyway, I guess it's a terrible way to end.